So for me, who these children make me drink. Hello, guys. My name is KP. Welcome to KP on the mic. I am here with two of my very good friends and lovely guests. We're here to talk about entrepreneurship, dating and entrepreneurship, and some of the struggles and things that we face on a daily basis being entrepreneurs ourselves. So I'd like for them to introduce themselves.
Big girly.
This big girly. And you are?
Gianna Gomez.
Okay. And Vic, you own several Airbnbs, you do real estate, you do Turo, investments, things that our culture really needs to understand and be educated on so that we can deep dive into that. Gianna is the body contour queen of the South. Legit. She's done my body facials, body contouring, teaches classes, linked up with people all the way across, different borders in Canada and things like that. So she's absolutely amazing at what she does. She's got like these magical fingers that all of a sudden, bitch, you just snatched, So it's amazing. So we're going to talk about entrepreneurship. I myself own the hottest nightclub in Tampa, Florida, Lit Cigar and Martini Lounge. And I do real estate. I own a promotional company with my partner. We own a hospitality group now. So we have several things that we're launching this year, and Gianna and I will be going into business. So be on the lookout because we got Bodies by Gigi. Not me, but Gigi. But yeah, so it's going to be great. We're here to talk, chat, answer questions, and just talk real life struggles of entrepreneurship. So we're going to start everything off with what motivated you to get into what was your defining moment where you were like, bro, I cannot work 40 hours no more for nobody?
For me, it was a time. So I've always kind of had an entrepreneur mentality, and I think the final straw when I finally made the decision was when I had my son. So I'm full-time dad, so working 12-hour shifts is tough when you're trying to raise an infant. So, so I just decided that it was time. I knew I had everything I needed to, be successful in business. So I decided to take the leap, and it's been up since. So,
Gianna, for you, what was that defining moment where you were like, other than the day that I called you and was like, we doing this? What was that defining moment where you truly believed in yourself?
So I just got tired of sitting behind the computer and doing the regular 9 to 5. I feel like I learned to appreciate my parents' story. Being immigrants that came from Central America, and I feel like I owe them more than me just being a basic 9 to 5 person. So, but I struggled a lot with figuring out what I wanted to do. So when I noticed how much I love beauty for myself, couldn't always afford it, but I always loved beauty. And to me, it's something like helping other women. And I've hit rock bottom. And when I hit rock bottom is when I felt like that was it. I needed to do something to make me feel more like I was doing something for myself and not always for other people. But, getting into the beauty world, I feel like it's a form of helping women with self-love. And I feel like we've all lost ourselves at some point in our life, whether it's during a marriage or being a single mom or whatever. So I always feel like, to me, it's a form of helping people. Because when I feel happy helping other women get their pep back in their step and all that stuff and feeling good about themselves. Because I feel like when you pour back into your own cup, you're a better mom, you're a better wife, you're a better friend, you're a better everything. And now that I've been doing it, it just shows that I found my passion because it's literally something that I'm good at without even trying. So
wonderful. And aside from the fact that I legit called her one day, I was like, I don't care if you're ready or not. We're doing this, and I'm going to go spy on everybody.
She sniffed out the boxes in my car and literally was like, did you get your equipment yet? I was like, I'm literally on my way home with it. And she's like, all right, just get ready. I'm coming tonight. I was like, my room's not even decorated. She was like, I don't care.
I'm getting on the table, girl, and we going to town. So for me, I would say my defining moment was when I was able to understand how much value I brought to the corporate world. Like when I started seeing like board members coming in to see like, how is Courtney doing this many millions of dollars in sales, and how can we get her to teach? I was like, hold on. There's value in what I do and what I have. And I was like, now how do I apply this to my own? Why am I giving you more for you to make money? You're relaxing and I'm slaving. That's not how this is going. So for me, it was leaving a well over 6-figure job with benefits and comfort and security. And I'm traveling every 3 months, and I own 2 properties. And, for me, it was, all right, I quit, because I'm never giving you more of me to your business than my own. So then we opened up Lit, and from there it's trickled down to every other thing. And then I'm just like, listen, I'm going to ride the wave. And once you start equipping yourself with that knowledge, it's like you really feel like you can tackle anything. Like, I can open any business I want if I just put my mind to it.
So would you say that the knowledge that you gained from your corporate job helped you with your entrepreneur side?
Most definitely. My knowledge that I gained all the way from 19 working at Hooters and learning like customer service and brand management and brand longevity. I mean, Hooters has been around for years. Sitting on that board and helping to make decisions that change the uniform, change the menu, change this, seeing what impact and the voice that I had made me realize I could do this on my own. And not only that, I needed to go through these experiences because it was almost like not having to go to school, but being taught what I needed to know. And that's what I tie into my business now with the customer service, the image, the brand longevity, things of that nature is what I carry into Lit, and why we are so successful because of the service that I learned from hospitality. So, what would you say would be something that you've struggled with in entrepreneurship? Like, what is your biggest struggle in believing in what it is that you can do?
Because a lot of businesses fail within the first year. Most small businesses do. And the safety net that corporate America gives you, which I think is all a part of how they keep you glued to them, is because they give you benefits, they give you this, they give you flexibility. And if you stay in that box, then yeah, it feels good. But I mean, obviously you have to trust the biggest fear of losing and your business not working, so it's just a leap of faith that you have to really be passionate about. And I think if your passion's there, no matter what, you're going to have highs and lows. And just like in life, if you can maneuver through that, you'll be fine in the end, because everyone at some point was a beginner. And if you do start self-development, you're going to realize that everyone, even millionaires and people that are successful, have all had their failures. It's a part of the process. So if you can trust that, then you're fine, but
For me, it was probably personnel, like employees, and I'm somewhat of a perfectionist. So
Oh, Lord.
having employees like, and they do something, I'm like, all right, that's not up to like my standard.
Right.
So the struggle, I think, was understanding that, for one, everybody isn't going to do everything like I do.
They don't love it the way you do.
Right. Because it's not there. So I had to learn, that was part of my personal development process, is learning how to deal with different types of personalities. And I think that's important, especially when you're the boss, you're running a business, and you're responsible for
Right.
other people. You have to be open to understanding who they are and not just judging based off of who you are.
Yeah,
So-
I would agree with that. It took me like some months for me to come in and understand that I didn't just want to be a boss. I wanted to be a leader.
Mhm.
Like, I needed to get them to trust me enough to just listen to what I was saying, but also show them and deliver results at the same time. Like, I told my girls, trust me, I will put you in an environment that's going to have a different type of clientele, where you are not going to have to solicit yourselves or subject yourselves to any BS, because they're going to come in and respect me. So with the respect they give me, they will give to you, and you will make more money than you ever did doing what we do. So it has been extremely beneficial, but it took me a couple months of like screaming every time I came in here, like, what is going on? and really having to understand, like, okay, you've never worked anywhere where anyone has spoke to you like that.
Well, that's what I'm
So
saying. They're
why
not
do
used to
you
that.
think that you can come in and speak to people like that? So now even in my management staff, and I'm constantly like, I don't talk to them like that. So you cannot talk to them like that, you know? But that was a bit of a struggle for me, and being in a male dominated industry, the big struggle for me is gaining that respect from not just men in this industry, but the men that partake in this industry and come outside and have to understand when I say, hey, turn your hat around. And they look, oh, my bad, KP, my bad. Instead of, man, what the, oh, no, because I don't do that type of energy. You know, so it was a lot for me to understand about myself and see who I was as, you know, not just their boss, but their leader, their mentor, their therapist, their confidant. So in the same way that I tell them in bartending and in bottle serving, you're their therapist. Like, you are here to ask them, how are your kids doing? How is this? How is work? Is the same way that I am that to them. How are your kids doing? How is this going for you? Like, are you good? But I have a Build a Boss mentorship program that all of my girls are involved in. So basically, in order for you to work for me, you have to develop a business within 2 years. So all of my girls start a business. I don't take any money off of their businesses. I will help you register your LLCs. I will help you figure out what type of business credit you need. But you have to own something because this has a shelf life.
Right.
And I have to make you understand the reality of that. And if you don't want to work a corporate job, you have to do something for yourself. So that is part of what we do here at Lit, which is, it's amazing. But, you know, it's crazy.
So, question then, working in a male-dominated industry, what would you tell the other women out there? Like, how do you demand that respect?
You don't budge. You don't budge on what it is that you want and how you want to set the tone and the standard for what it is that you're trying to deliver. And you also cannot be bought. There are plenty of times where, I mean, I think you were outside one day when your friend pulled out $100 and he was like, and he was looking at him like, man, you on your own because you know she don't be on that. I am not even, he didn't say a word. He was like, listen, I ain't got nothing to do with that, KP. But, you know, he pulled out $100. And what did I tell him? Like, with that same $100, you can go get you some pants from the Walmart because you not finna buy me. But it's very important that in this industry, you stand on that. And you cannot budge. And I catch heat. Like, I catch, like, okay, P, she's on her shit today. You know, she ain't playing this weekend. She on it. But we've been 1 year of sold out every weekend. Successful. 3 days a week. Staff making 6 figures plus. So in order for me to continue that, I have to continue in the manner in which we're going. You can't let people put value on your brand because they don't own shit. They don't have anything. So why am I going to listen to you tell me what to do with my business and you clock in somewhere? Absolutely not. What do you think the biggest risk that you took and are continuing to take every day? Since, like, if we really talk about entrepreneurship, it's not guaranteed. So what do you think the biggest risk for you is on a daily basis?
So for me, well, when I first went like 100% entrepreneurship, it was literally right after the pandemic started. So
so what made you want to do it?
It was time. It was time, and I mean, I just decided to bet on myself. And like I said, I had my son. He was a newborn, so that was important to me. And I basically just said, you know what, I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna leave this job and I'm gonna figure it out. And I wouldn't necessarily recommend everybody do it the same exact way I did because I had been running businesses, you know, while I was working, and I had, you know, a good 6-figure government job, so I was making good money, and for me it was just like, okay, well, I know I can do this, and for me it was putting the pressure on myself, taking away that safety net and putting the pressure on myself. I know how I am, like, it's barbecue mildew, so I had to make it work. So that's what I did. I actually ended up starting another brand new business when I left my job, a landscaping company. Ran that for a little over a year, and then I ended up selling it for a profit. So yeah, it was pretty. I think the risk is really just betting on yourself and really having that confidence in yourself that you're gonna make it work. Because a lot of people, that's the hardest part, is leaving that job, taking that safety net away, and actually, taking that leap
Girl.
and believing that you're gonna fly.
Yeah.
That's what I've been
So-
talking to her about now, like literally on the way here.
Mhm.
And I'm like, she's holding on to Capital One and I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Quit your job, because you know what? You know what you can fall back on, but you ain't never getting this opportunity again.
Mhm.
If you have that conviction in your heart, follow it.
Yeah.
Because he didn't bring you this far to just bring you this far.
It's important to have a why.
Yeah.
And there's a saying I heard from old head before. He said, if your why doesn't make you cry,
Yeah. It's not
then
showing up.
it's something along it, basically.
Oh, y'all best friends.
But basically, like, that was my motivation.
Right.
Like, it's like I had no choice. I can't fail. So I think once you find that, and it's that important to you, then
Well, that's why self-development is super important, because
Right.
your mind will be your worst enemy.
Absolutely.
Your mind will convince you every single day that this is going to go wrong or that's going to go wrong, and you literally have to fight that. And especially in my situation, where I grew up in a family where they did come from another country and they did the American dream, which was what they had in their eyes, which was come here, go to school, get a job, stay with that company for 30 plus years and retire.
Mhm.
So anytime I talk about certain things to be an entrepreneur, my parents are like, no, don't do that. Be careful, stay safe, basically. So for them, it's not the norm. So for me, it's like, I have to basically train my mind on a daily basis, just like you would in the gym. You got to keep your muscles strong. If you don't go to the gym every day, you're not going to keep your muscles strong, and your brain's a muscle too. So if you don't practice self-development, listening to things daily that are like podcasts and positivity and all that, you will literally go negative. So that's something that I have to do every single day. Like, instead of picking up my phone in the morning, I pick up a devotional book, and then I reread the book The Secret, like, every day, literally, and different things that help me to start my day positive. Because if I have a little tinge of negativity in the morning, that's basically how you set the tone for your whole day. So it's like, and that's the type of stuff that keeps me level-headed on a daily basis, and hearing things that might be corny to other people, but it really helps a lot. Yeah. It helps a lot, and it really helps when your mind is telling you
I'm
not
a
to do
firm
it.
believer in set your mind. I tell everybody that. Set your mind at peace. Set your mind on happiness. Like, you have to set your mind. Like, if our phone doesn't work, we turn it off and turn it back on to reset.
Right.
Everything in life, you have to reset and reboot. If your computer's not working, Control Alt Delete, end the task and reset. So everything is about resetting. So you have to set your mind on everything that we do. What made you choose the industry that you're in, though? Like, what made you say, you know what? I love investments. I love teaching people about investments. I love being like a king of Airbnbs. Like,
So for me, for a while, I didn't know what my passion was. I just knew that I have the leadership skills. I have the drive. So that's why I started different businesses. I've had an IT business. I've had a hair business, landscaping. And so now I'm more in the real estate space, and then like coaching and mentoring.
mm-hmm.
So what I found was my passion is being able to help change people's mindsets, mentalities, because I can teach anybody how to make money with Airbnb.
Mm-hmm.
But if their mentality isn't there, they're not going to go do what I tell them anyway. So instead of trying to force do this, I found that I was wasting my time and their time because their mental wasn't in the right place. Mm-hmm. So they didn't have that self-drive. They didn't have that motivation to go do the things that I'm telling them to do. I give them the full blueprint.
Oh, listen, when I was at Ideal, I would tell them all the time, I can teach you the skill, but I cannot provide you the will.
Right.
Like, I just can't. So I completely understand.
Working on the mental, I think, is the first step, when it comes to trying to teach anybody anything.
Right. Why did you choose it?
Honestly, initially I went into this industry wanting to do lashes because I started seeing women that I followed randomly that worked in the corporate world, and all of a sudden they quit their job and they were making a lot of money with the lash industry booming a couple of years ago. But after my car accident, I realized there was no way in hell that I was going to be behind a person squinting my eyes and being in that sedentary position, because it was similar to what I was doing at Capital One or, in my corporate job where I'm just sitting all day. And when I went to school, my teacher was the one who kind of convinced me, why would you be that girl that only does one thing anyway? Why not be a one-stop shop? And she ironically just one day when we were at school showed us how to use equipment that they had at the school that had to do with body, but it was more for skincare related stuff. So I was already intrigued by the body contouring industry. Mind you, it was on the way to exploding, but not quite yet. It was more bigger in Miami and cities that are more like big on plastic surgery and things like that. And then I just literally just took the leap of faith and started doing it. I was more big on skincare initially, and then the body contouring started taking off. Because even for me, I questioned it. I was like, does this really work? And when I started seeing my own results with friends like Courtney, my sister, and random people that were my little guinea pigs in the beginning, it just started to take off. And then when people see the results and you focus on just promoting in the beginning when you don't have clients, then it just started to take off. And the more and more, every time I made a little bit of money, I invested in a new machine, or I invested in a new training, or I invested in something else to kind of keep carrying me through that. Because in this industry, knowledge is power, and honestly, you can never stop learning because you got to keep up with the industry, because the next year there's going to be a new equipment out, or there's going to be something new for skincare or whatever. So but for the most part, it was just, I just knew that the body stuff was where it was at, and that's where that's my niche. Like, you got to find your niche in this industry, and I feel like the body for sure was it. And the industry is booming. I mean, it's exploding, and it's $1 billion industry that's not going anywhere right now. So.
That's why I'm trying to be in it. But now, I do think that brings me to my next topic about like continuing education and things of that. Like, I do think that even though we're entrepreneurs, people think that, okay, they've got it, they've figured it out, and they're good to go. Like, I think they really think we just sit at home all day and just like chill, and it's like we absolutely do not. Like, I am on go 24/7. Like, my girls will tell you, I am texting on Sunday at 9:00 at night. Like, this needs to get done. This needs to do this. I have 2 assistants. I have, like, it is crazy. My life is crazy. But for me, what's crazy is people are like, okay, so you opened a club. How hard can it be? Well, people don't know that not only did I open a club, but I opened a club in the middle of a pandemic during Super Bowl week, where we had hundreds of thousands of people here. Yeah. We're screwing in a light bulb at 10:58 and lifting up the garage at 11 o'clock. Like, we're all in here putting in hookahs. The week that we were opening, there was not a booth in here. This was like still floor. And we was like, ain't nothing but Jesus coming in here today, honey. But, and the continuing education, like, not realizing that for the 3 years that we were getting told, no, this isn't going to happen. You're not opening here. You're not opening now. You're not opening that. As much frustration that was built up when we weren't opening when we were supposed to, it was a realization that timing is everything. You know what I mean? Timing is everything. There was no way we would have been able to open right when COVID hit. We would have completely died. So to open right after, but during that time, I was going to DC, Cali, Miami, Houston, Atlanta, and I would literally study the club. All my friends are having a good time, and I'm like making notes in my mind of what I liked, what I didn't like, how fast. I literally clocked the bottle times, like what time the bottle got here. You've been in bottle service. When you an entrepreneur, you start sitting in different sections, okay? So you've seen, like, comparison to other nightlife out here, these bottles are coming out fast. Right. Like, the service is completely on a different level here because I studied for so long. So I don't think that people really understand what goes into even us being able to say, you know what, I'm going to trust my dream because I've already studied it. I've already put all of this into it. I didn't just wake up one day and say, you know what, I want to open up a nightclub. Yep. No, I studied this for 3 years and opened the best nightclub in the city because I was patient in my season. I waited things out, and I was faithful in what I believed that I was going to be able to do. Now, this is going to bring us to a better topic because we all got children. You got one, I got two, she got two. She got two daughters. How old?
12 and 13.
12 and 13. So I've known her since I was 13 years old, okay? She has been up and through there a little bit with her decision making. Sometimes, but me and the same. Right. She had her moment where I was like, Gianna, what the hell is wrong with you? Oh. And I had my moment where she was like, Courtney, like, I didn't even know you anymore. Like, we go through this. I lost my religion, child. I lost my mind. But, I found it. How would you say the balance, like, do you find it difficult to balance, or because you're a dad, but you're a full-time dad, like, your son is always with you. So do you find it hard to balance, like, parenthood and entrepreneurship?
So what I tell everybody that talks about balance is in entrepreneurship, there is no such thing.
There isn't.
There's no such thing as balance because entrepreneurship is 24/7. So literally, even when I have my son, I'm still working.
Yeah.
I take him, I mean, he's only 2 now, so he doesn't really grasp everything. But, as he goes around with me, he'll be able to pick up, how dad runs business, how, the ins and outs of finances and things like that. A lot of things that I wasn't taught as a kid. So I think that's important. But, I mean, back to, like, balance, it's just, you really, as an entrepreneur, you just find out how to make it work. So It's not no rule book. It's not no handbook to say, hey, do things this way. It's just you get in and you figure out how to make it work. And it's the same with relationships. It's not going to be a balance. So
right. We'll get to the relationship part. We're going to talk about these children first. So for me, these children make me drink. I think for me in entrepreneurship, I'm so grateful that my children are farther in age apart. And when I found my entrepreneurship, I found it in my later years, in my 30s,
Mm-hmm.
Because there ain't no way I was going to be able to do this at 21 years old. Okay? So my son is 16. My daughter is 6. And when they tell you, listen, you have one. Mm-hmm. The second kid don't give a shit about life. Okay?
They're the no limit
they
soldier.
are the no limit soldier. Literally, like, they will do whatever. So she is the one that keeps me more on my toes. But I'm so grateful because it's like, they've kind of like grown with me in this process, especially over this past year. We just had our 1 year anniversary. So they have literally like they've endured the nights where I'm home, at 4:00 in the morning or 5:00 in the morning because I'm counting money, and they've been so patient. But I found that because I'm off Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I would give them that Sunday where we would go to Orlando just to go to dinner. Not with these gas prices now, but we would go there and we would do those things. And I feel like that helped me balance, but also gave them an appreciation for what it is that I do. Like my son's in high school. So he's telling his friends, like, yeah, my mom owns Lit. She owns a nightclub. And my neighbors are like, hey, my son told me that. And I'm like, oh, God, Like, they probably think I'm outside in the streets bopping. But, it's just like I've been able to grow with them. And what I appreciate so much with my son is I've been able to grow my whole life with him. Because I had him when I was 21, finishing college, about to graduate. And, spent 10 years with him, and his dad and I didn't make it. And we're really good friends now. I mean, I brought her to the wedding with me. We went to the wedding not too long ago. She was my date. So I've been able to grow with my son, who has helped me grow into the mom that I am. Because he saved me from depression and, thoughts of like suicide and things like that. Like my son has like an old soul, like, and I'm so grateful for him. So I would not be able to, I don't think, even be the type of mom and boss that I am and balance that type of my life if it wasn't for having such great kids, you know? Your kids they are going through it now, you know, where they're trying to figure out. They're so used to having their mom 24/7, and now this past year you've exploded in this industry where you've got the number one doctors talking about you, and it's kind of like, now how do I balance this?
Yes. For
You
me, it's
know?
been a struggle.
Yeah.
It has been a struggle because I am trying to be so committed to my business that I'm also kind of giving the hand, and my clients will take my whole arm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I have to learn to say no, because in the beginning it was hustle mode. It was whatever it takes. All right, you want me to do mobile? All right, I'll drive to West Chase and do an hour appointment for half the price of what I'm charging now just to get my name out there. So I was doing that like crazy in the beginning, but now I realize that I feel like I've established a rapport in the business, and I need to, again, let go of my safety net and trust this. And now I'm to the point where I'm training, you know, so I can put other people in play so I can really focus on expanding the business, because if I don't do that, then I'm just going to be like a slave to my business, which is not the goal. Ultimately, the goal is work hard in the beginning so you can take a week off and disappear and your business is making money regardless. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still in that hustle mode, but I'm in the transition of, okay, let me let go of my safety net, let me let my girls work, and let me do what I got to do in other areas, you know? And because I haven't found that balance, my girls do struggle and have it's like, I know that when they're older they're going to understand, but right now they're kind of in that, oh, my mom's always at work, or you're always on your phone, you know, because it doesn't stop. Like if I'm working, I can't respond to clients. So I'm responding to clients while I'm laying in bed. And, you know, even my partner, he'll be like, oh, well, when you're done with your phone, let me know so we can come chill. Because he knows I'm not present. But, you know, and again, there's certain loose ends that I need to tie up that, because I didn't think my business was going to explode in the beginning, I didn't do. So I need to allow self-booking. I need to allow all these things that will give me the gift of time back, which is where I need to find that balance with my kids and my family, because if it's a hot mess when I come home, then where's my peace? You know, I don't have peace, because when I leave my business, I need to leave that at the door and be a mom and be, you know, a girlfriend or a wife or whatever I am, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not. So it's like I'm struggling, and everything is kind of not getting my full me because I'm not balancing it. So that's kind of a little struggle transition that I'm going through right now. But it's good problems, but it's problems that if I just balance things and said no to clients that want to come see me at 9:00 at night on a weekday, like, no, my daughters need me, you know what I'm saying? And my daughters don't need me in the aspect of changing diapers or anything, but they need me more present, because middle school is the hardest time for these kids, and especially in this day and age and through the pandemic and everything, they're already antisocial as it is. So it's like they need me in a different light. They need me to just be present, to talk to them on the way home about what happened and, you know, what's going on and all these pressures that they're going through. So that's kind of the struggle that I'm at. But again, I know letting go of my safety net will definitely give me that ability to balance it more, you know, and leave my Sundays as true family time. Because even on a Sunday, I'll go in, I'll take a client because, oh,
Well, she better than me, because I talk to Jesus all the time. I ain't
So-
about to be. I do big game Sundays here, and as soon as Super Bowl is done, cut it. I'm done.
Right.
Everybody needs a break.
Yeah.
You need that mental break. Like, I find myself wanting to be more in solitude, like,
Yeah.
and silence and rest in that. Like, it helps me gather my thoughts, and like, I don't know, I just feel like entrepreneurship is 24/7.
Mhm.
And people think, well, they work for themselves, they're good. But who do they call when the problems happen? Who do they call when there's a mess to clean?
Right.
Who do they call when this has to be done? They call you, you know? So it's never done. It's never done. So that concludes our first episode on entrepreneurship and things like that. I definitely will have you guys back for entrepreneurship and dating. I think like both of us are single, but you are in your engagement and you know, whatever happens and things like that. I do want to thank you guys for coming and just giving like, you know, your story and your testimony, and hopefully what we're doing will help somebody, you know, with what they are going through and struggling with. And my advice to everybody, what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose but the risk you don't ever take?
Mhm.
If you're good at sales, you can always go back to sales. But you're never gonna know if you don't take that moment and that opportunity right then. So don't stop taking risks. Be all that you can be in the army. No, but just go with it, guys. Like, don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your dreams. We live in a world of opportunity, and if you can dream it, you can achieve it. Oh wait, this KP on the mic. We out. Hello.